Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to News in Motion. Or if this is your first time tuning in, we just want to say thank you for tuning in and welcome to News in Motion. Whether you are catching us live here at 7:25 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, audio, or podcast, we just want to say thank you for watching. If you are catching a replay in the afternoon, the evening, or in the nighttime, we just want to say thank you for tuning in. Today is Wednesday, May 24th, 2023. We have our Wednesday workshop today. Today's guest will be Deborah Johnson from Right from the Heart. She will be coming on here for our Wednesday workshop today, along with Miss Gail Dudley giving some news headlines. And also, we just want to pray for those who are struggling with allergies right now because it is bad outside, y'all. It is really bad. Like eye irritation, sinuses, everything is just, pray for those with some allergies. Send them some Claritin, some Tylenol, maybe some Robitussin, and, some 7-Up. You know how we get it. Send them some chicken noodle soup, some 7-Up, and tell them go lay down somewhere, and they be all right. Right as rain the next day. All right, but as I see y'all coming in here on YouTube, Marianne Jackson, Adrian, good morning to you as well. Be sure to like this video. Be sure to share this with a couple of friends. And y'all know what we do here. Let's go get some news in motion.
Good morning, everyone. This is Gail Dudley, and it is time for News in Motion. Come on in the room, people. Come on in the room. It's a different season, so you may be thinking, wow, I don't see that many people on Facebook, or I don't see that many people on LinkedIn or on YouTube. Believe me, they're more than likely on the podcast. So let's just keep going. Let's just keep having fun. I saw Mike Nicholson roll up in here. I see Tanya up in here. I see Lexi up in here. Deborah Johnson said these allergies are no joke. They are no joke. I mean, this entire side of my head, I'm fighting. But it's all good. It's all good. Do us a favor and hit that share button, hit that algorithm, get some people to come up in here so we can have a great time, a great chat. Wednesday workshop is going to be phenomenal today. I guarantee you of that. Marion, it was so great to see the picture of you and your son in his graduation gown. I know you are a happy mama. So congratulations to you and Josiah once again. I see Pastor Alex Williams rolling up in here. Tanya said, yeah, these allergies are no joke. No joke. Let me tell you. I see my sister Patricia Lyles rolling up in here. What's up, Terry Davis? Come on in the room, y'all. Y'all do us a favor. Hit that algorithm. We got to get that algorithm going. So hit that like button, a heart. If you're on YouTube, hit that bell. If you're on LinkedIn, hit that thumbs up, whatever it is. Keep that algorithm going. So I'm just so excited to see all of you rolling up in here. Hester's rolling up in here as well. All right, y'all. Today is Wednesday. It is Wednesday, May the 24th, 2023. I want to welcome everyone. I am your host, Gail Dudley. Y'all, we are knocking on 3 years come next month. So we're real excited about that and our consistency in bringing you the news. Every time I think y'all have had too much news and I'm like, maybe it's time for me to pull back, something happens. So if you're watching us live or the replay, I just want to say thank you. And if I'm going a little slow, I'm telling y'all the soul side of my head is pounding. It's the whole allergies, but we're going to be okay. All right, y'all. It's important for me to go back to something I shared the other day about this whole debt ceiling piece and how it's going to hit certain sectors. I see you, Fred Jones. And I mentioned this yesterday, coming straight out of the White House press room. And I was talking about, and I'll read that line. It says a short-term breach could disrupt Medicare and Medicaid, and a long-term breach could severely harm health systems, potentially making providers reluctant to see Medicare and Medicaid patients. Now, y'all, this is coming again straight from the White House. This is a report from the White House. So I had to go on a digging expedition yesterday. I see you, Kim Edmondson. I had to go on a digging expedition yesterday because once again, you all know my mom went from the hospital to the rehab center, Medicare patient. They own their home. And what happened? All of this started again on yesterday. And I said, wait a minute, I thought this was in the Inflation Reduction Act. It is. But this debt ceiling where this House, and I'm going to just say it like I'm going to say it, the House Republicans they are holding the country hostage under this debt ceiling piece. You know, we have X date, or it can happen anytime in June, and that's just next week. All right, June, I believe, is next Thursday. It can happen at any time. What I've learned after we received the phone call in our family, in that particular nursing rehab facility, 22 families received the call. And the woman told me every nursing rehabilitation place, including hospitals, received that call to release patients or they need to pay, self-pay. I'm like, what is going on? So I did my digging, did my due diligence to look up to see what's happening. And I'm going to tell y'all what's happening. All right, y'all, under the SSA.gov, and this is a message where you're talking about Social Security benefits and Medicare benefits. It says a message to the public. Again, this is from SSA.gov. It says the Hospice Insurance Trust Fund will be able to pay 100% of total scheduled benefits until 2031. Well, okay, so what's happening May 2023? It talks about 3 years later than reported last year. At that point, funds reserve will become depleted and continuing program income will be sufficient to pay 89% of the total scheduled benefits. Okay, well, what am I missing? Well, if I keep on looking, it says the Supplemental Medical Insurance SMI Trust Fund is adequately financed into the indefinite future because, unlike the other trust funds, its main financing sources, premiums are enrolled beneficiaries, and federal contributions from the Treasury are automatically adjusted. Automatically adjusted. In lieu of the debt ceiling, and not reaching a determination, we're going to have to hold those funds. So see, y'all, when we're voting for people, we have to kind of like forecast what's coming and ask the question, how are people going to respond? Fred Jones says if they care for veterans and active military like they say they do, they'll get something done, because those paychecks are being held hostage as well. I believe I reported that on yesterday. What's up, Shardinia? So y'all, this is what's happening. So when I'm bringing you this news and when I'm saying we need to pay attention, we really need to pay attention. It's not to take you into a place of fear or anxiousness or intimidation. It's to arm you with the necessary information so we know how to contact our representatives right now. And if you missed last week's Wednesday workshop with Deborah Johnson, I want you to go back to last Wednesday to see how you should write your elected officials, because this is what's happening. And I'm just talking Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. We talked about veterans yesterday. You also have the Affordable Care Act. And then, yes, the Veterans Affairs on here as well. There are others. There are other things, programs, and so forth. There's a divide in the House, even with some Republicans who are saying, I can't cut these programs because the constituents who voted me in office are expecting these things, and I have promised these things. But then you have the Matt Gaetz and the Marjorie Taylors and that group who held hostage the Speaker of the House back when they were voting in January. They're telling him he can't fold. So we're in this gridlock. And so I mentioned yesterday where Senator Markey was calling on the president to go ahead and declare that 14th Amendment. So there's a lot that's in play, but when it hits home, and I realized it hit home for me and my family on yesterday, I said, if it's happening to us, it has to be happening to others. So again, while I was on the phone with their insurance people at the nursing rehab center, and I was on the phone with their social worker, they were like, the phones are ringing off the hook because we sent this to 22 families. And they said nursing homes and rehabilitation centers and hospitals all across America are being hit with this. And guess what the deadline is, y'all? Right before Memorial Day, May the 25th. before all of these changes and cuts will come into play. So I wanted to share this. And then in CNBC also reported, because they also had a great write-up as well. They says in their headline, debt ceiling woes point to the need for Social Security, Medicare reform, expert says. And they're talking about how many people this is going to affect. They're talking about debt held by public as a share of GDP average about 46% to 47% from 1973 to 2022. So they were breaking that down. They were saying that debt is now near 100%. This is Bipartisan Policy Center, Jason Fitchner, who gave this report. So y'all, a lot is happening. They're talking about this GDP could climb to 118% by 2033. So there has to be some reform, but something has to happen. But I still ask the question, didn't y'all vote on this in the Inflation Reduction Act? Yes, they did. So why is this a part of your negotiation when it comes to the debt ceiling? And what are we going to do with these individual people? So for an example, I had to go do an appeal yesterday and say why my mom needed to still stay there. It's just very interesting because when I contacted them, y'all, this is what was said. This is what was said. And I'm sharing this not to share my mother's business, although she told me I could share this information. I always get permission first because it is personal. But I'm sharing this because you may find yourself in this situation as well. Okay, number one is said that when we're looking at the house, because the house is in their name and they're saying, well, they have a house, they can afford it, or give us the house. We're not giving you their house. They own this home. They don't have a mortgage. How dare you come for it? That was pretty much my response, by the way. But in addition to that, I said, what are your findings and how well, in 14 days, she hasn't shown any change. Okay, so she's still in that bed. She can't sit up on her own. She can't stand up on her own. She can't go up steps. So what are we supposed to do? And I said, by the way, what are all the people who are in this position supposed to do? Well, I don't know. I guess in-home care. Are you going to pay for that? Well, no, we're not going to pay for that either. So y'all, the system is not working for us, but it's working for the people who need that system to work that way. These are the kind of questions. And some of you may be thinking, well, I'm not there right now. That's not going to happen to me. I have some stuff in order. Make sure you really have your stuff in order and make sure that the house, you necessarily, and I'm going to get a financial person in here one day to share this. You may remember it's 5 years in one day. You just can't move a house to somebody's name. Furthermore, you really don't want to do that because of taxes and home ownership, property, all that stuff. You really want to put the house in a trust. But even still, you have that 5 years in one day to do it. So now is the time to consider that. But it's also important to start thinking about what you want to do with your family, with your own home, with your children, your siblings, and so forth. Start working that plan now, and then also have these types of conversations with your elected officials. I'll say it again, as I've been saying it since January. It's time for us to attend town hall meetings and talk about things like this. Start a list. So the next time you go to a town hall meeting, you just start checking things off. You won't get to ask all the questions on your list, but prioritize them and start with the top one and work your way down. Y'all, this is why we vote. You did not see this coming. I did not see this coming. Here we are in 2023 going into the 2024 election, and this is what's being held hostage. Again, it's healthcare. It's Affordable Care Act that's being hostage. It is, I'm going to give them all to you, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and Veterans Affairs. Those are the top 4 things that are being held hostage that they're trying to negotiate away. Also, don't forget, this doesn't apply to any of them or their families inside the chamber. Why? Because they got a nice package, and which we're not mad about that, but trickle that down to your constituents as well. All right, Judy Neal says, good morning. Good morning to you. We shouted out your grandson on yesterday. Hopefully you had a chance to hear that. Tanya says, how dare you tell me what she's not doing for 14 days without offering me better resources? Shame on them. I am absolutely with you. Deborah says, elected officials respond to written concerns. So it's time for us to write. Those are our elected officials. I see you, Lori. Good morning. Now, along with this whole debt ceiling piece, Politico will report that the House Republicans are pushing for steep spending cuts, as we know. But first, they paused during this week's meeting to bid for, and this is no joke, y'all. They're playing around with us. They took a bid for Speaker Kevin McCarthy's used cherry chapstick. Yeah, that really happened. Marjorie Taylor Greene placed the winning bid of $100,000 on the fundraising auction. And her spokesperson confirmed that she won the used cherry chapstick of Kevin McCarthy. I just want that to sink in. Y'all should be negotiating this debt ceiling mess. And you decide to have a used cherry chapstick of Speaker Kevin McCarthy to place on bid for auction to put money in the RNC? Really? You paused to do that? Yeah. He says, I'm honored to be able to donate She says, I'm honored to be able to donate $100,000 to the National Republican Congressional Committee to help Republicans increase their majority in 2024 and defeat the Democrats. Yes, I purchased the used cherry chapstick of Speaker Kevin McCarthy. That's what's happening. Yeah, Deborah, used chapstick. Yeah, yuck. Yeah, Marion Jackson. Yeah, really. That's what happened. That's what's happening. Now, some people may say, oh, it's just unjust. It's just unfine. It's okay. They had to break up the seriousness in the room. Not when people's lives are on the table. These are questions we need to be asking. Yes, you heard me right, Tracy Burrs. Also, y'all, New York Times, they are the first to report that Florida Governor Ron DeSantis will announce today his run on Twitter with Elon Musk. So Elon Musk and Twitter, I guess they're going to do a live stream that he's going to declare his run for presidency. But before you get so excited about that, we have to pay attention to what he's doing in Florida. So, y'all, NBC News and AP reports that a group of Chinese citizens living and working in Florida sued the state on Monday over a new law that bans, I want y'all to hear this, that bans, they having a great time banning things over in Florida. Y'all, this new law bans Chinese nationals from purchasing property in the state of Florida. Y'all heard that right. You heard that right. The law applies to properties within 10 miles of military installations and other critical infrastructure, and also affects citizens of Cuba, Venezuela, Syria, Iran, Russia, and North Korea. But Chinese citizens and those selling property to them will face the harshest penalties. And it also applies to agricultural land. The American Civil Liberties Union says the law will have a substantial chilling effect on sales to Chinese and Asian people who can legally buy property. The suit says the law unfairly equates Chinese people with the actions of their government, and there is no evidence of national security risk from Chinese citizens buying Florida property. Republican Governor Ron DeSantis signed the bill into law on May the 8th. Yeah, but he's running for president of the United States. Yeah, that's what's happening, y'all. That's what's happening. In other news, we have Trump hush money case trial has set a date, and he's real upset about this date. This is where there were 34 counts in the state of New York. New York City judge ruled on this past Tuesday, which was yesterday, that the trial with the hush money payments to porn star Stormy Daniels will begin on March 2024. And he's not happy because that's like in the height of the primary season for this. So don't even miss the fact that Ron DeSantis waited until after that came out with the date before he said he was going to announce. So he's announcing the next day after this date. With everything going on in the political arena, authorities said that a 19-year-old Missouri man who crashed a U-Haul near the White House began waving around a Nazi flag in culmination of a 6-month plan. He wanted to get to the White House. He wanted to seize power and be put in charge of the nation. He also said that he was prepared to grab the president, President Biden, kill the president if necessary, if that's what he needed to do. So this is what the charges state, and that's coming out of the Associated Press. Y'all, this is a lot of news. I hope we're paying attention to what's happening. Then you also have South Carolina legislator passed a 6-month abortion ban. South Carolina's legislator has passed a bill that would ban abortions after 6 weeks. I'm sorry, I said 6 months, 6 weeks, after 6 weeks of pregnancy. Under this bill, doctors could face a fine of $10,000 and 2 years in prison, as well as losing their medical license if they violate this law. And HuffPost was the first to report that. A whole lot, y'all, a whole lot. And I'm not done. Mike Nicholson says, what in the caucasity is going on there? Listen, there's a lot. Lori Wallace says, that's just nasty, period. Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot that's going on. Y'all, New York Times is reporting on, it's our job here at News in Motion to bring you the news, to give you just enough for you to go research it for yourself. So don't just take my word for it. I've been telling y'all that from day one. Don't just accept my word for it. Check this out for yourself and then ask yourself these questions. How do I connect to this? What does this look like for me and my voting record? What do I need to do to educate other voters? There's questions that come behind this because we're here to empower you and to give you the tools and the resources to go out and make a difference. We will never tell you who to vote for here. We may show that we lean one way more than another, but at the same time, it's your responsibility to do your due diligence before you go out and vote. So New York Times is also reporting that Illinois' probe finds almost 2,000 cases of child sexual abuse by Catholic clergy across the state over a 7-decade period. Incidents involved more than 450 clergy members, exceeding the 103 individuals identified by the church in 2018. That article alone is worth reading. There's a 696-page report found that clergy members and lay religious brothers had abused at least 1,997 children since 1950s. That's a lot. 149 new names were mostly religious clergy who are accountable primarily to independent religious orders rather than the local dioceses and bishops. So there's a lot there, y'all. I'm sure there's a lot of trauma and things that we need to deal with there, to talk about it and to get them the help that they need. If that's not enough, as we're working up to the Wednesday workshop with Deborah Johnson, CNN and the Associated Press, they are reporting Target rolled out a Pride collection the beginning of the month of May. Well, now they're beginning to pull some of the products from its stores after facing customer backlash, saying that it is acting. They're saying that they're pulling this as a form to protect their employees' safety. And this report hit out here from Reuters on Tuesday. So Target Corporation is offering more than 2,000 products, including clothing, books, music, home furnishing, as a part of its Pride collection. Now, the items include gender fluid mugs, queer all year, calendar and books for children aged 2 to 8, titled Bye Bye Binary, Pride 1, 2, 3, and I'm Not a Girl. In a quote from Target, it says, since introducing this year's collection, we have experienced threats impacting our team members' sense of safety and well-being while at work. And that's a statement directly from Target. And I want us to take some action with that. So hold on, because we also have USA Today reporting that Amanda Gorman, I can't even believe this is happening. Her poem from President Biden's 2020 inauguration has been banned from elementary students. Where? In Florida, okay? The hill we climb. So Miami-Dade County, Florida is where all this has taken place. The poem, which had been published as a short book, and this has come out of USA Today, will now be accessible only to middle school students at the pre-K through 8th grade. This is Bob Graham Education Center in Miami Lakes, Florida. In an attempt to fight back, Amanda Gorman said her publisher, Penguin Random House, is joining PEN America and others in a lawsuit to challenge book restrictions. Amanda posted on her Twitter account, and this is a quote, "So they banned my book from young readers. They failed to specify what part of my poetry they object to, refuse to read any reviews, and offer no alternatives. Unnecessary #book bans like these are on the rise, and we must fight back." So y'all is now gone in the elementary school. So as I'm bringing on Deborah in just a few seconds, as our Wednesday workshop, she's going to talk about thank you. She did a great podcast on Monday on DJ from the Heart. And I was like, hey, we got to pull some of that over here to News in Motion since we collaborate and work together. We need to start flooding Amanda Gorman with thank yous, even if we're just going to her Twitter handle and sending her a note of thank you. We also need to thank Target. We also need to go out and thank people who are doing their due diligence and trying to bring to the community things that are speaking to the community. We also need to talk about thank you of our high school students, to send thank yous to those who have been blessing them over this high school season, especially at graduation, as well as college graduates as well. We can also thank as we're going into Father's Day, Men's Day, and so forth, the men and the fathers that are in our lives. So with that, I'm going to bring on Deborah Johnson so she can give us our Wednesday workshop. Good morning to you, Deborah.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Hey. It's good to be here again, right?
I'm so glad. There's so much going on.
Oh my gosh.
So
yes. Much. Yes. But I got good news. There was a heaviness today with so much happening. Some of it's incredulous, right?
Right.
But one way to make a shift is just two simple words, just saying thank you. I'm like, seriously, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to do what I absolutely love. I absolutely love talking about this. You know, I love writing things by hand, but I absolutely love saying thank you.
Well, you are welcome.
It just causes a shift in your spirit. So this is a great opportunity, and it is. It's wedding season. It's graduation season. It's Father's Day, Mother's Day. There's so many things going on, but honestly, every day is a good day to say thank you. And there's always a reason why.
And I want to say thank you for joining me and thank you for all that you do. So let's take it over. You go ahead and take it over with Wednesday workshop so that we all understand thank yous.
Sounds good. Sounds real good. You know, thank you. They're just two simple words with the power to change your entire outlook on life. I mean, you may be wondering, you know, if you need to say thank you for everything. Come on, Deborah, everything? Yes. Everything. And everything we should be giving thanks. So much so that the University of Berkeley did a study on gratitude, and they found out that being thankful, just saying thank you, writing it down, expressing it, changed your health and your happiness. So it can actually change you, change the way you feel, change your outlook, but it can literally physically change how your body responds to different things. People who are sick are getting well because they just continue to say thank you. But the overarching study says that it builds a bond of trust and closeness when you say thank you to someone. So we just got a short period of time, but I really want to hone in on this. You know, after me, I study so many things about handwritten correspondence. I have spent years really just reading up on what's the difference between saying something verbally, and that's always a good thing, or writing down your words of thanks. And I am convinced that if you write a simple, well-crafted thank you note by hand, it's just one of the best ways to convey gratitude. You know, there are just times when a text message is not enough. Graduates out there, when someone has taken the time to go the extra mile, send you a Cash App, a check, giving it to you in writing, just say thank you. Thank you just helps us to fully appreciate our blessings. Everybody knows about Oprah and her big heart and how she has done, given thanks in so many ways. But her brand skyrocketed when she began to outrageously bless people by saying thanks in big ways. I know you must remember when she brought on all those teachers and you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. But she just wanted to say thank you to teachers. She was so blessed by a teacher and she wanted to do that. She said, being thankful for what you have, by being thankful for what you have, you'll end up having more. Can I say that again? By being thankful for what you have and you'll end up having more. She said, if you concentrate on what you don't have, you'll never have enough. So that might be the formula you're missing right now. If there's something missing in your life, maybe you just need to say thank you for what you already have. In these few moments left, I just want to give you the when, the who, and the how to give a written thank you. If this is not enough time to give you everything, so check out the show from last Monday. I gave you point by point by point on what you need to do. But right now, just to get you started, the when, the who, the how to give a written thank you. When do you do it? You will never go wrong giving a handwritten thank you. It speaks volumes about gratitude that you have for kindness that someone has shown to you. And you're just probably wondering if that includes everyone. I mean, do you say thank you to everyone? Yes, you say thank you to everyone. Now, let me just say something. If you're walking along, you drop something, a person reaches down and hands it to you. Yes, you say thank you. Do you need to write a long letter about it? No, you don't. I think in some situations, it's right there in the moment. But in the moment, still say thank you. But people, remember this. Even your parents, your spouse, your best friend, your siblings, anyone who takes time to bless you deserves a thank you. Every time I send my sisters something, particularly two of my sisters, I don't care how small it is, I get a handwritten thank you. And it just delights me so. And guess what I do? I go back and find something else to send to them because I just love getting those notes from them. So who? Make a list of everyone you need to thank. Graduates, brides, grooms, seriously. If your thank yous are a result of a party in your honor, no matter what it is, your retirement party, whatever, write down the names of those who sent you or brought you a gift, whether it came by mail, whether they sent you a coupon by email or a gift certificate, carrier pigeon, or in person, it doesn't matter. Anyone who's done anything for you in that way, you need to write a thank you. And then add in all the friends who did things that money just could not buy. The person who ran all around, making sure everything was set up. That person who got there early, came the night before, put the decorations up, took them down, drove people around for you, drove you around, planning, decorating, running errands, whatever it is, make sure you write their names down and you send a thank you. Now, how do you do that? Some people are saying, Lord, I don't remember the last time I actually put pen to paper. Well, I'm going to give you just some quick, basic steps. We don't have time for a lot of them, but these will get you there. Number one, greeting. Start off with a greeting, whether it's, dear Aunt Sheila or Uncle Bob, dear whomever. If it's a couple, Mr. and Mrs., if it's your favorite person, hey girl, Lord have mercy, this meant so much. However you communicate with that person, if it's a formal thank you, it's going to sound more formal. If it's familiar, it wants to be in your voice sounding familiar. But you start off with a greeting. Quickly after the greeting, because this needs to be concise, begin with the two most important words. Start off letting them know this is a thank you. Sometimes the outside of a blank card says thank you. Sometimes you find this cute card and it says everything. Let me say something to you. A pre-printed card will never tell what's in your heart. It's a start. It gets you there. Maybe you read that card and you well up. Yeah, that's what I want to say. But at the end, you write in your handwriting. exactly what you're thankful for. And it sounds like this. Thank you so much for coming to my wedding, giving me that amazing gift. It made my day. When you came over and just said good morning and sat on the porch on one of my worst days, I am so grateful. When you were there, when I was sick and I couldn't do for myself. You getting it? Just express your thanks. Number 3, add specific details. So you don't want it to sound boilerplate, like you're saying the same thing to everyone. Tell them how you plan to use or display the gift. Someone buys you a pretty necklace. You say, oh my gosh, thank you for that gorgeous necklace. I wore it on News in Motion this morning and got so many compliments. Thank you so much. Every time I put it on, I think of you. If someone gives you cold hard cash or a cash app, you might say, thank you so much for your generosity. That your gift is allowing me to do a little extra on my vacation. Thank you so much. I'm going to be buying a lot of the things for my dorm room with the money that you sent. Thank you so much. I cannot thank you enough, and I can't wait to use that money to do the thing I've been trying to do, whatever that is. Lay it out so they can visualize. Wow, that went a long way. And let me say something. Sometimes we're really excited to write that big note to the person that gives us $100, $200, $300. But the person that sends you that $10 in cash in a card, it might have been their last $10. They might have been thinking, do I go and get myself, a coffee this week, or do I send this to someone because I don't have any more? It doesn't matter the amount. It matters that they took the time to put it in something, to hand it over to you. Let them know that meant a lot of you thinking about me. That's going to help me with this. Now, we know that the $10 was not going to pay for your whole vacation. So don't say, now I can go on vacation, because that's going to sound disingenuous. But you might say, that first coffee on my vacation is going with that $10. I'm so excited. The other thing, and it's called looking ahead. Number 4, just looking ahead. You don't want the thank you to just be about the gift. You want it to be about the connection that you have with the person. So you're not saying, I'm just writing you because you did this for me. You're saying, I really appreciate you in my life. And I'm looking forward to us getting together next week for coffee. I'm looking forward to when I travel to California next month and we'll get together. I'm looking forward to all the good times we're going to have this summer. It creates a connection. And then quickly, you restate your thanks. At the very end, you cannot say thank you enough. You say, thank you again. You know what? This really made my day. And I just want to say again, you mean the world to me. So it's another way of saying thanks. You might say, we feel so blessed that you made the trip to be with us on our wedding day. We can't wait to see you again. You can end that way. And then you end with some sincere regards. Sincerely is always safe. If you don't know what else to say, sincerely, Deborah, sincerely, Mike. You can say with love. If with love sounds kind of weird, then don't say with love. But trust me, there's all kinds of love. People like to know that they're warmly thought about. You can say many thanks. You can say yours truly. That might sound weird or formal, but people get it and they love it when they see it. Quickly, keep it short and sweet. When you're writing a thank you note, aim for like 4 or 5 sentences. It doesn't have to be a book. And if you're a graduate and you're writing lots of them, you don't have time for it to be a book. Weddings, I know you're worn out, but guess what? Each person deserves to know that gift landed. There's nothing worse than taking the time. I'm always excited when I'm putting together a gift for someone. And then all of a sudden, nothing. You don't hear from them. You wonder if they really liked it, what's going on. So make sure, express your appreciation, keep it short. And if you can, send the thank you as soon as possible. Within 24 hours, if you're having a job interview and you're doing it. If you're a graduate and you left the next day going someplace, as soon as you get back, sit down and write your thank you notes. But guess what? If you're sitting here listening to this and you think, gosh, I graduated last year and I never sent thank yous. Oh my goodness, our wedding was in December. It was just cold. It was a lot going on. It's never too late to say thank you. I have found thank you notes that I thought I had mailed. I will write on the outside, oh my goodness, I can't believe I forgot to send this. And I sent it. I put it inside another letter and I thank them again. It's never too late to say thank you. And personalize it. Every time, personalize it and write it in your own voice. It wants to sound like you. If you're a really serious person, then write a serious note. If you're really funny, find a funny way to say it. You probably don't have to find it. You know it because that's who you are. Make sure you proofread and edit it, specifically the person's name. People just love to see their name spelled correctly in any communication. So just make sure that you do that. But even if it's not a gift that you can put in your hand, remember to thank people for things that, it defies description. That person that stopped by every day, that person who texted you every day that you were ill. I mean, you might have been ill for 90 days and every single day, that person you woke up to, I hope you're feeling better today. I'm just missing you. Just want you to know I'm thinking about you. That person deserves the thanks. That person that stopped by and sat with your pet while you went to the hospital, sat with your children and took them out and entertained them while you did something. It goes on and on. The list does. But always say thank you no matter what. In everything, you want to give thanks. And that leads us to our devotional for the end, our motivational message, our inspirational message. In everything, give thanks. We have so many things to be thankful for. So if you're watching this broadcast right now, give thanks. If you got, great ideas from Gail this morning, and now if every morning, Monday through Thursday, this show just sets the right tone for your day, give thanks. And maybe send a note to Gail. If you have a roof over your head, give thanks. If you can see the sun outside, give thanks. If you can't see the sun outside, but somebody stops by just to let you know it's shining, give thanks. 1 Thessalonians 5:16-18 says, rejoice always, pray without ceasing, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. It is always good to give thanks. And this means give thanks for everything. The more you give thanks, the better you'll feel. The more you'll see a shift for the better in your life. If things are not going as well as you would like them to go, give thanks. If you feel like you're at the worst possible place and time in your life, give thanks for what is going well. Don't focus on what you don't have. Focus on what you do have. Focus on how it's going to feel to have something happen. Give thanks for things that haven't already happened. Give thanks because it's going to get better. God's going to show up. Start thanking him in advance. Psalm 103:2-5 says, bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits, who forgives all your iniquity, who heals all your diseases, who redeems your life from the pit, who crowns you with steadfast love and mercy, who satisfies you with good so that your youth is renewed like eagles. There's a lot there. I can't preach a whole sermon today, but what I can tell you is when you are in a bad place, when you are sick, you can give thanks and you can thank yourself to wellness. When you are just downtrodden, when things are not going well, you can thank yourself into a different place. I have a nephew right now who is so sick, or has been so sick, but throughout the entire cancer journey, he has been given thanks. He sends notes. Thank you so much for your prayers. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. When he was at the worst, he was on saying thank you. And guess what happened? Got a note yesterday. He said the prayers are working. He said that the tumors are gone. I'm getting better and better. My oncologist is so excited. I just believe he thanked himself into wellness. And you can do the same thing. It is always good to write notes of thanks. It's always good. In everything, give thanks. Just give thanks. Enjoy the rest of your day. And remember to take a moment, just a moment this week, to say thank you. Just a moment today to say thank you. And when you can, write it by hand, right from the heart. Have a great day and see you tomorrow on News in Motion. at 7:25 a.m.
News in motion.